What's up, people? I am back for another video. Sorry I didn't do a video yesterday. I'm going to still do that 81 list. I'm going to do that tomorrow. But today, we're going to do the Bond film I was supposed to do last week. This is the second entry in the Roger Moore. This is one I'll admit I don't remember. I remember the name, but I don't really remember the movie fully. But watching it again today, I really liked it. It's a little slow. It is. It's definitely the one I see a lot of people don't like as much. I thought this one was fine. Christopher Lee was fun as a Scaramanga, is his name. I thought he was a fun bad guy. Mary Goodnight. I'll admit the Bond girl in this was kind of weak because maybe it's just me. I prefer my Bond girls to be like kind of agents also kind of thing. I don't like when for the film I guess it worked, but she just didn't do anything for me. But other than that, the movie itself is decent. Basically Scaramanga wants to kill Bond and has like this weapon called the Solex, and Bond has to try to stop him. Basically that's the film. I mean, that's the one thing I do like about these movies is how simple they kept it. Like, they don't really go too complex. I mean, I know the later ones do a little bit, but the early ones, they relatively are simple. The action was a bit fun. I like the tech. I thought Christopher Lee was a fun bad guy. You know, he's not Blofeld, but he was decent. I love the scenes where Bond gets tech. I love fucking Scaramanga's car fucking with wings that he made. I thought that was kind of fun. Fun final fight, with a shootout, and then even the little midget that was with Scaramanga was a fun little villain too. So overall, decent entry. It's kind of a middle entry. It's not one of the better ones, but it's definitely a fun one. The next one, this is actually one I do remember, is The Spy Who Loved Me. So that's the next Bond film I'm reviewing next Tuesday. Then tomorrow, I will be doing the list. The video I was supposed to do yesterday. I'm going to list my favorite movies from 1981. I might, depending on how tomorrow goes, also do the Mel Gibson video, because, man, I need to go in on these people. Like, every fucking just day now. It's like almost every week. There's like an article bitching about Mel Gibson being in something. So I want to talk about it. So I might talk about that tomorrow, or we'll do that specific video on a day. It'll be sometime this week, but we'll see. Overall, Man with the Golden Gun, I'd probably give it about a 7.5 out of 10. It was a decent entry. It's not one of the best ones ever, but I enjoyed it. I like the opening where this hitman is sent to kill Scaramanga. Leads him to this maze and ends up killing the henchman, the hitman, with his golden gun. And he even has like this standout of Bond, because you could tell he's been practicing wanting to kill Bond, because these guys have been rivals for a while. I like too that even back then, this movie came out in 1974, that they knew not to, like, let's not just do a bunch of exposition and spend forever why they don't like each other. You kind of can get the idea that these guys have history, but we don't need to go through it like every little thing. So Bond's assigned to this mission because he hears about Scaramanga. Then this is where we meet this. I thought this scene was kind of funny, where he was beating, because it's crazy, because these old Bond films, man, because he found Scaramanga's the girl who works for him. He ends up having sex with her. She leads him into a trap. Initially, he tries to find the bullet through so he can locate it. then hooks up with this girl, but then it's a trap, beats up the guy, and then ends up getting the information out of her so he can um get Scaramanga information. He goes to Gibson, but Gibson ends up getting killed by Scaramanga. I think I like having a bad guy that is a bit physical. Because don't get me wrong, in most of these movies, largely the main villain is like a kind of a conniving one where they'll have like a heavy, you know, like they'll have like a heavy do the work. But I do like that, like it's every now and then it's cool to have a villain that can do both, because he was kind of both in that sense. He was conniving, but he also did the work. He was another hitman. So Bond goes undercover as Scaramanga, and the one notable thing is he has a third nipple, which I'll admit that part was a bit weird. I'll admit that was a bit weird, but he goes undercover, but then he gets kidnapped and taken to like this karate martial arts school, because while there he meets like a I think it's like a taxi driver, and these two girls who they'll be important here in a second. Bond basically is forced to they basically force these martial arts students to basically kill Bond. Bond fights his way out, manages to escape. Um, the man and his daughter show up. Come to find out that that their father owns a martial arts school, so they're actually trained in martial arts. I thought that was kind of funny, and this was in 1974. But yeah, strong women didn't exist. Once again, I thought it was Captain Marvel, right? But yeah, anyway, I love the fight scene, and then I like that they brought the sheriff from Louisiana from Live and Let Die. He was like a comedy actor. I thought it was kind of fun that they brought him back in this. Even though he relatively was the same character, I thought it was funny. He was a funny kind of like, because there's a chase scene later. I guess I'll just jump to that, where Bond is trying to get Scaramanga along with the FBI, but this is where we get that chase scene, and he leads them, and this is where we get his plane car, and basically manages to get away. But Mary, who throughout the film he is talking to Mary, she's like this star. She's not like your usual Bond girl. She was alright. I think she was serviceable for the movie, like performance wise, but just I'll admit her character didn't really like it. Just she wasn't fully captivating to me, but she works like relatively. Like I'm cool with her being in this movie. It's not necessarily like so. He then well because the guy who owned the martial arts studio or um martial arts thing failed on capturing Bond. Scaramanga kills him with the gun, and basically allows Bond to come to his island and proposes a duel. Basically, that to kind of end their rivalry. And we get that duel, but then Scaramanga manages to get away. He leads him into that same maze while Mary is trying to get her way out of the island. She ends up killing one of Scaramanga's people, and Scaramanga himself ends up getting killed. Nice final fight. It wasn't a long final fight, because Bond posed as the mannequin from earlier, and yeah, he ends up killing him. They managed to blow up the island, destroy the Selects, but Scaramanga's midget comes, how these movies end. Bond ends up thinking he won, and then there's like a remaining bad guy that wants to try to get revenge. So that kind of thing happens. Bond ends up dumping him in a fucking suitcase and ties him to a thing, and then he continues to romance Mary, and the movie ends. Like, these movies kind of go quick. Like, they're 2 hours, but Pacing wise, they're relatively simple. You know, he gets the tech. He has to stop the bad guy. Bad guy shows off like his skills. Um, Bad guy maybe has a moment where he has Bond like kidnapped. So, but I like this one. It's not like the best one. It's probably not like gonna be in top if I ever were to because the ranking's gonna take forever because of how many movies. But if I were to do one, this one would definitely be more at the bottom. But it was all right. It's 7 out of 10. It's an okay one. Roger Moore I thought did a good job. So, and I thought the chase scene was pretty funny. I found the sheriff guy pretty funny. Yeah, there were some points where it was a bit too comedy, but I thought it was fun. I'm kind of cool with Bond being having a little element of comedy in it, where it's as long as it's not like slapstick comedy, but like just little bits of comedy here and there is fine. So, and I like the Bond song in this one. I always love the Bond songs in these movies, at least especially the early ones. Something that's like a classy feel to them. So, but tomorrow, like I mentioned, I will be doing the list from 81. My number one, I'm not already gonna spoil, is Halloween 2. I mean, when I think 1981, I think that movie. So, it's gonna be 5, but I will have like a couple like runner ups I will mention. So I'll be doing that video tomorrow. Maybe we'll do the Mel Gibson video also tomorrow. If not, I don't do that one tomorrow. We'll do that one like sometime in the weekend maybe. But man, the Golden Gun was decent. That's pretty much all I can say. I would recommend it if you're gonna go through Bond and you want to, or if you're going through the Roger Moore era. This one would be one I would watch again. So, but as usual, cheers, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. As usual. Joe Biden. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.